Hey, Skol Vikings Nation. What's up, Purple Pride Warriors? Can you believe it? We just straight up demolished the Bengals 48-10 on Sunday, and it wasn't just a win. It was a thunderous declaration to the entire NFL that the Minnesota Vikings are back, reloaded, and ready to rumble. I'm your diehard Vikings fan, pumping with that purple blood, breaking down every electrifying moment from Vikings News HQ. Stick with me through this roller coaster of highlights, because if Jefferson's grit and Rodgers' chaos don't fire you up, nothing will. Who's ready to relive the rout that shook the league? Picture this, U.S. Bank Stadium erupting as Carson Wentz, our hometown hero, stepping in for the injured J.J. McCarthy, slings that first touchdown pass on a crisp 6-play drive. The Bengals' defense looked like they were sleepwalking, handing us penalties left and right while we marched 64 yards like it was a Sunday stroll. That early score set the tone, folks, 7-0 before they could blink. And with Joe Burrow sidelined for the season on IR after toe surgery, their backup Jake Browning was about to learn what purple rain really feels like. What a way to kick off. What's your take on Wentz channeling his inner kid from Mankato? But hold up, Vikings faithful, because the real fireworks exploded when Rodgers turned into a one-man turnover tsunami. We're talking an 87-yard pick-six that had the whole stadium shaking. Rodgers reads Browning like a book, snags that INT midair, and he's gone. Baby, gone. That's not just points. That's pure defensive poetry under Brian Flores' scheme. And get this, he forced 3 of Cincy's 5 fumbles, including stripping Jamar Chase right in his tracks for a recovery by Jeff Okudah. Rodgers wasn't just playing, he was authoring nightmares. Imagine being a Bengals fan right now. Total devastation. Who's your defensive MVP pick so far this season? Now, let's zoom in on that pick-six magic. Rodgers weaving through traffic like a ghost, 87 yards of sheer speed and instinct, diving into the end zone as the crowd loses its mind. It's the longest defensive score in Vikings history this early in a season, and it bumped us to 14-0 faster than you can say Skol. Flores had prepped him all week, knowing this was the spot to unleash the chaos. Rodgers later said, "I've been saying it all week. I got messages to prove. I just want to showcase who Rodgers is." Chills, right? This guy's a Super Bowl champ from Philly, now owning Minnesota. Tell me in the comments, did you see that run coming? As the first quarter melted into the second, the Bengals tried to claw back. But nope. Rodgers strikes again, punching the ball loose from tight end Noah Fant like it owed him money. He scoops it clean and jets 66 yards for another defensive touchdown, tying a Vikings record with 2 picks in one half. That's 21-3 now, and Cincy's turning the ball over on 3 straight possessions. Fumbles galore, including Samaj Perine thumbing out early. Our D forced 5 total takeaways, the most since 2017. Flores' unit isn't just bending offenses, it's breaking them. How fired up are you for this defense heading into Pittsburgh? Diving deeper into Rodgers' masterclass, that 66-yard scoop and score was pure opportunism. Fant never saw it coming, and Rodgers turns a routine play into highlight reel gold. He forced 2 fumbles total, but this one, it was the dagger pushing our lead to untouchable territory. Post-game, he lit up. "I told Flores that's why I came here, to create turnovers. He knew why I came, and we displayed it this week. From UMass to Indy to Philly's ring to our purple secondary. This man's journey is Vikings magic." Fans, drop a comment. What's the craziest defensive play you've seen from a Viking? Alright, Purple Army, shift gears to the ground game because Jordan Mason? Absolute beast mode. Rumbling for 116 yards and 2 touchdowns on chunky carries. We're talking 5.2 yards per pop. Gashing Cincy's front 7 like butter. No Jordan Addison due to suspension, banged up O-line, and Wentz shaking rust, yet we pile up 200-plus rushing yards total. Mason's second score, a 12-yard bulldozer in the third, made it 41-3, largest deficit in Bengals history at that point. This run game's clicking even without full health. Who's your breakout RB candidate for the year? Mason's vision on those inside zones was surgical, bouncing off tackles and dragging defenders for extra yards. His stiff arm on that second TD had Bengals linebackers seeing stars. With McCarthy out on ankle IR and Wentz stepping up big, 18/25, 220 yards, 3 TDs. The play action opened lanes like never before. We controlled the clock at 35 minutes, wearing Cincy down. From Vikings news updates, this 200-yard rush output is our best since 2022. Loving this balance. Comment below if you think Mason deserves more snaps. But let's not sleep on the air raid. Wentz to TJ Hawkinson for that dagger TD late in the third, bumping us to 48-3. Hawks fully synced post-ACL, snagging 6 balls for 85 yards, including that red zone laser. Even undrafted Max Brosmer mopped up the fourth quarter, looking comfy in garbage time. Bengals scored a pity TD at 49 minutes, but it was too little, too late, worst loss in franchise history. Our offense exploded for 48 points despite the chaos at QB. What's got you most hyped about this attack? Fast forward to Justin Jefferson, our superstar WR1, not exploding the stat sheet with 5 catches for 75 yards, but oh man, the YAC ferocity, breaking 3 tackles on a slant that turned into 36 yards of punishment. He stiff-armed safety Geno Stone into next week, showing that physical edge fans don't always expect. JJ's aftercatch average hit 15 yards, setting up Mason's runs with pancake blocks downfield. Even in a down game, every touch mattered. From Vikings news, this grit is why he's the league's best pure tone setter. Jefferson spilled gold post-game. When people look at me, they don't really expect me to be as physical as I am, but that's the type of game I like playing. That physicality, showing people that I might look this way, but I'm way bigger than what I look. It's just about setting that tone, setting that momentum. Boom, 12 catches, 200 yards, 1 TD through 3 weeks, despite no Addison, O-line woes, and QB carousel. 22-year-old McCarthy and fresh signee Wentz. This is JJ elevating everyone. Who's the toughest DB he's faced so far? Zooming on that 36-yard slant, Jefferson hauls it in, spins out, and trucks through arm tackles like a freight train, gaining 20 extra after the catch. It's not gaudy numbers, but it's the little things. Contested grabs, downfield blocking that sprung Mason's 116-yard day. Without Addison's suspension and McCarthy sidelined, JJ's carried the load, drawing doubles and still producing. Vikings news highlights his 75 yards as efficient gold, 18% target share. Imagine the explosion when we're whole. Your prediction for his week 4 stat line? Now, the bigger picture, this 48-10 thrashing? It's the worst in Bengals lore, with them fumbling 5 times, losing 3, and Browning picked twice in a Burrow-less nightmare. We sacked him thrice, pressured on 45% of drops. Flores blitz packages terrorizing. Since he entered 2-0, but post-surgery Burrow Blues hit hard. They're 2-1 now, limping to Denver. Our 2-1 start feels like destiny, especially after that MNF win over Chicago. Vikings news is buzzing, this D's top 5 in turnovers already. Pumped for the international clash? Breaking down Cincy's collapse, they managed just 53 rushing yards, 0 pop plays, and turned it over 4 times total. Perrine out early with a thumb issue. Fant in concussion protocol after Rodgers strip. Browning, ex-Vikings practice squad die, went 14-28 for 180 yards but looked rattled, especially after that 45-point hole. We held M to 10 points, our stingiest since last playoffs. This win's a statement. Don't sleep on Minnesota. What's the key matchup next against Pitt? Teasing the Rodgers-Jefferson synergy, while JJ grinds on offense, Isaiah's D gifts short fields, like that pick 6 setting up Mason's first score. 2 stars, 1 mission. Physical dominance. Rodgers' 2 forced fumbles led to 14 points directly. JJ's blocks added 40 rushing yards. It's symbiotic. Offense feeds D, D fuels offense. Vikings news calls it the Purple Pulse. Through 3 games, we're +7 in turnover margin. How does this duo stack up against other star pairs? Delving into the quotes that lit the locker room. Rodgers, I want to play better. Showcase who I can be. Jefferson, every yard matters. I make the most of every opportunity. Wentz, post-rust shake-off. Channeling emotions for the team I grew up loving. These aren't just words. They're fuel. Flores brought Rodgers for this exact chaos, and it's paying off huge. From Vikings news updates, expect more mic'd-up gems soon. Which quote hits you hardest? Stats don't lie. Skull Squad. 48 points is our highest since 2023. 200 rush yards tops the AFC North. Rodgers' feat. First in NFL history. Pick 6, fumble TD, 2 forced fumbles in one game. Jefferson's YAC. 75 of his yards post-catch, elite efficiency. Wentz's debut, 120 passer rating. Bengals? Worst defeat ever, 45-point margin tying records. We're 2-1, D rank 3rd in points allowed. Vikings news has the full box. Mind blown yet? As the fourth quarter ticked down, Brosmer trotting in for fun, we tacked on that Hawkinson score. Wentz's 3rd TD pass, sealing the route at 48-3 before Cincy's garbage TD. Even in blowout mode, execution shown. No penalties on our last drives, clock management flawless. This wasn't luck. It was preparation meeting opportunity. Heading to Dublin versus Steelers, we're carrying this momentum. From Vikings news, injury watch, McCarthy day-to-day, Addison appealing suspension. Optimistic or nah? Wrapping the defensive dominance, Cincy's 5 turnovers matched their season total pregame, all in the first half alone. Rodgers' 153 return yards, Vikings record for defensive scores. Flores' scheme forced 12 pressures, collapsing pockets. We limited Jamar Chase to 62 yards, no TDs. This unit's clicking like never before, top 10 EPA allowed. Share your favorite Flores call from the tape. Shout out to the unsung heroes. Hawkinson's blocking on Mason's runs, Okuda's chase strip recovery. Even the O-line holding despite injuries, Ed Ingram and Garrett Bradbury anchoring amid the bangs. Special teams pinned Cincy deep thrice. Full team effort turned a potential trap into a statement. Vikings news praises the depth, Brosmer's poise in mop-up, future starter vibes. Who's your under-the-radar stud? Pacing back to JJ's physicality, those blocks weren't flashy, but they sprung 20-plus yards for Mason, directly tying to his 2 scores. In a game without Addison, JJ's versatility shown, route runner, blocker, YAC monster. His 200 season yards pace him for 1,066 modest but with context. Elite. Expect explosion once McCarthy returns. From Vikings news, he's eyeing 2,000. Dream big with me? Rodgers' mindset shift, from Philly bench to Minnesota starter, mirrors our rebuild. He prepped all week, visualizing turnovers, and delivered historic. That second fumble force on Fant? Timing perfection, scooped mid-stride for 66 yards. That's why they brought me here, he said. Flores trust paying dividends, 3 TOs from one guy. Vikings news dubs him Chaos King. Ready for encores? League-wide ripples. This route vaults us in power rankings, plus 10 spots overnight. Bengals plummet without Burrow, tough sledding ahead. Our 48 points? 3rd highest week 3 output. Turnovers created. League lead. Vikings news teases. Message sent. Fear the purple. How's this reshaping your playoff odds? Storytelling the Jefferson arc, week 1 mic'd up grinder. Week 2 detail focus. Now week 3 tone setter. Despite QB flux, McCarthy's youth, Wentz's rust, he's adapting, leading. That post-catch stiff arm? Viral gold. 5M views already. I'm way bigger than I look. Iconic. Elevating Mason to 116 yards. Captain stuff. Comment your JJ hot take. Rodgers' historic half. 2 defensive TDs. Tying records. First ever combo with 2 forces. From UMass scout to Flores favorite, his journey peaks here. Teammates bowed to him on sideline, earned respect. My time would come, he reflected. Vikings news. All-pro trajectory. Who's next to erupt in purple? Final vibes from the dome. 66,000 roaring skull. As clock hits 0, purple confetti dreams. This 48-10? Catalyst for explosion. With McCarthy healing, Addison appealing, we're stacking wins. Vikings news confirms. Health returning week 4. Pumped for Ireland? Skol? Vikings fam. What a ride breaking down this Bengals beatdown from Vikings news. Jefferson's brute force. Rodgers' turnover tornado. Wentz's grit. Mason's rumble. We're 2-1. Message delivered. Purple reigns supreme. If this fired you up, smash that like button, drop your MVP vote in comments, Jefferson or Rodgers. Subscribe for daily Viking scoops and share with your fellow Skullheads. Hit the bell. Next up, Pittsburgh preview. Go Vikings. Let's own this season.